Previously, on Abandoned and Forgotten Places, we've been exploring the Brownie Mountain Complex and its large interconnection of adits and drifts, searching for artifacts and workings of miners long gone from the early 1900s. After spending a considerable amount of time climbing into the very bottom of a treacherous winze and finding a mysterious yellow rope from explorers decades ago, we then ventured across the valley and explored a steep incline shaft leading to the top part of a massive stope and still unexplored areas. Now, come with me as we continue our epic adventure, searching for a connection between these two mines, and hopefully solving the mystery of the yellow rope.
Alright everybody, let's explore this old mine. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done this, so it is just a wee bit unnerving. So what I'm going to try to do first, we got some debris I got to get past. Okay, let's get past that. We got one board coming up here. Oh, I'm gonna take a break a second. Whoa-wee.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm just gonna sit here and capture just... That's a lot to do. That's a lot of cameras to hook up and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah, the adrenaline's running high, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Breathe.
That's what keeps you alive, man. All right, here we go. I think I can already maybe see the bottom. I'm not 100% sure. But we're getting there. Oh, there's that board. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get down to about that far. There we go. Let's take another peek here. Oh yeah, we're getting there. Okay, now we're getting to the part where the collar has failed. Yep, okay. There we go. I can almost see the bottom there. Bucket hit, and come on. Okay. Come here, bucket. Come here. Get off of there. So this time, I'm gonna do something a little bit different, guys. I am not gonna wear this heavy harness when it comes to exploring all these drifts. It's too cumbersome, and quite frankly, I don't think you guys like listening to a human wind chime. All right, you guys got your ears on up there?
That's affirmative.
All right, my cell phone says 202.
Okay, we'll look for you at 3. Which way do the drifts go?
So we got one drift that goes directly towards Better Bob, and another drift that goes the opposite direction.
Well, you're right so far, aren't you?
Yep, so far.
How's the air?
Just mildly stinky.
Okay, well, good luck, have fun, and we'll be looking for you at 3.
Yep, I will come back here at 3 and give you a follow-up.
Copy that. Have fun.
All right, guys, made it to the bottom, and took a few minutes there to put myself back together again. Took my harness off, got the cameras all up and running, the whole 9 yards. You can see we got quite the spaghetti bowl going down here. I figure it was only around 125 feet down to this level. And what we have here is a big pile of debris at the bottom of the shaft. Now, I can hear rocks falling deeper, but I don't think the shaft goes any further. I think what we have there is what's called a sump, all right? Okay, so off that direction, that drift right there, that's the one that I predict heads towards the hill. Turning back around here, this is the one that I predict heads off across the valley to that other incline shaft. Let's peer up there real quick, see what we're getting ourselves into. And you can see down here on the floor, after all these many years, the walls and the sides of the adit, or the drift I should say, are slowly starting to crumble and fall. That's why it looks contoured. Now, as I get down in here, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm looking on the ground for fresh footprints. And I may see one, maybe, but it's very old. Yeah. I mean, it could be from, like I said, those guys that came down in here in the 60s. We'll never know. But, all right, so let's continue on. So here I am thinking I'm going to be the only person in this mine. And I start looking around and I see footprints on the ground. Boot prints. Yeah, with waffle iron type sole. Kind of like the boots that Randy wears. It looks like to be about a size 10 or 11 maybe.
Well, those are nothing like the kind Randy would wear.
Sorry, Randy.
Are you going to use that?
Yes, I am, because everybody needs to know you've got big feet.
Yep.
Well, they can see my feet. You got a camera on the floor here.
That camera's not there, Randy.
So I'm down in this mine, and I'm thinking I'm going to be the only person here, and lo and behold, wouldn't you know, here's some boot prints in the dirt, and I'm thinking to myself this entire time, oh, that's got to be from those people, maybe from the 60s, you know, maybe back in the days when there wasn't a collapse in this mine, and they found another way in, and they came in from this direction. So that's kind of how I was talking about it in the show. Well, fast forward a day later, I had to go back out to the mine to do some drone work, and I went back to the shaft, and I clearly saw a cut line in the wood. The collar around the shaft is all sun-baked. And
yeah, that old wood, it really leaves a distinct mark if you drag a rope through it.
Absolutely, and you can see where someone had drawn over either a rope or something from a winch from a Jeep. And I went back. Well, here, hold on a second. Let me show you. Here it is right here. See that right there? See that line? That's what I'm talking about. That was not there a few weeks back. So while I was on my break, and Mr. M here was too, somebody went out there and roped down into this mine before I got down in there. Can you believe that?
Because you showed that timber before without.
Yep.
Don't you have drone footage of it before?
I do.
Yeah.
I went back and I did a comparison, and that line wasn't there. So I can only guess that maybe somebody watched the show and then came out here and decided to go in there, or it was just pure coinky-dink that an explorer just said, hey, we're going to go into this mine today, and went down into that shaft. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know who you are out there in the world, but if you're watching this video, contact me.
Yeah, did you get the hell scared out of you too?
Yeah, that's right. I'd like to know If you made it any farther than what I did, that'd be pretty darn cool. And hey guys, wouldn't it be cool if it turns out to be like Justin from TVR? Or one of the other YouTube mine explorers? That would be ridiculously funny.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. Would you look at the layers in this, guys? Is that incredible or what? All right, let's get up in here. All right, we come to a crossroads. If we look to our left, that one indeed goes back to the hill. If we go straight, this one's gonna head towards going across the valley. Yikes, look at all the crumble in here. All right, we're gonna be real careful and take this nice and slow. Well, I'm surprised that that's as far as this one goes. Off to my left here, they were starting to thinking about going that direction and stopped. I'm barely making out a footprint down in here. We got some fuse on the ground. Right there is an old stick of dynamite down here on the ground, and you can see there's a dynamite box that's filled in with dirt. Okay, looking up there, we have looks like the miners were going for making an ore pass here, and that's as far as they got. It stops right there. Doesn't go any further than that. So they started working on it and quit. Okay, as we turn back around, and I'm really being careful here looking for old dynamite. We're gonna go back to this other drift. Oh, that is some crumbly looking stuff right here. Let's get out from under that. You can see the shaft up there in front of us. Now, let's turn to the right, head up in here and see where this one goes. Coming into a collapse. Yep, absolutely. Right there. Guys, I'm going to take another break here a second. Still shaking off the adrenaline and coming down that shaft, and I really don't want to be doing all this huffing and puffing, so give me a moment and I'll be back. Okay guys, back again. Yeah, sorry about that. This is an extra special mine and I really want to do it well. So let's drink this one in like a fine wine, shall we? So what we have down here is, the reason all this is crumbling is off to my right over there. That's all gypsum, and gypsum's a really weak mineral, and that's why this whole thing is starting to come down. Now as I was taking my break, I actually did see another footprint on the ground, but that thing has to be many years old. I mean, we're talking decades. Yeah, see, look down here, right down there. I'll turn this light off, maybe you can see it. If you can see those footprints. All right, what do we have up in here? Well, with this kind of porphyry material, it doesn't surprise me at all that we're seeing a big collapse. Oh yeah, Yeah, look at this. Darn. Off to my right here. Look at the gypsum crystals growing off there. Okay. I don't see any way around that. Oh, that whole upper block gave way. And there's just cracks and everything in the back of the mine there. I could wiggle that on my belly, but if one of them came down, I would be wedged. Nope. Nope. That's too dangerous. We're back in that same old scenario of self-rescue, so you kind of have to choose your battles. So what we're gonna do, work our way back to the shaft and go the other direction, which should take us towards the hill. Boy, this is really, really crumbly. There's no solid rock down here at all. It's 100% pull free. And I'm all stooped over, and that ain't making life any easier. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't like being stooped over. It's a real pain in the back, so to speak. Okay. All right, so what we got to do now is carefully climb over this debris pile so that we don't accidentally fall into the sump. Let me just give you a quick look straight back up where we came from. Right there, you can see how the collar failed. Yep. All right, so I think if I can step off on that board, come over here. There. Well, now that's never a good sign. Down here on the floor we got a modern day water bottle. Actually, we've got two of them. So maybe could that be from the people that came down on the yellow rope? Let's find out. Because this is the direction that you would go. All right. Crossroads. We got one to the right, probably doesn't go very far, and one that continues straight. Yep. Someone's been in here. There's their footprints. Look at how much, see the taper on the floor? Look at how much has just slowly come down over all these years. Oh, you're kidding me. That's as far as it goes, guys. Right there. All right, turning around. Yep, it's humid in here. My laser kicked on. It does that. All right, well. Let's go back to this other drift and see what we have hiding up in here. Does this one go further? Oh my gosh, that is horrible looking. Come on, laser. We don't want to see you all day long. Guess I'm gonna have to make a little adjustment here, guys. Give me a second. There we go. If all else fails, take the battery out. Okay. Oh, this is a big time collapse zone here. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Let's look up in there. Okay, so as I crawl up here, guys, to try to look around the corner, I'm not going to be doing much talking because this is all falling down. And I don't want to make any more vibrations than I have to, so just sit back and enjoy the show for a moment. Just a minute. Oh, whoa. Oh, oh my gosh. Did you guys hear that? I know you didn't see it because the camera was pointing in the wrong direction. I had a hunk come off the back, probably. Well, you can't see me if I do that. Hold on a second. I had a hunk coming off the back of the mine. It landed on me, right on my back, about 20 inches across. And I didn't even touch the back of the mine. That is incredibly dangerous right there. Oh my gosh. There's only 22 inches between the floor and the back of the mine. I would literally have to go on my belly. And if any one of those slabs came down and slabbed me, I'm going to be wedged. Darn it all anyways, I was really hoping we wouldn't get into this level of collapse, but you know what? This is roughly between 103 and 115-year-old mine. That's incredibly unfortunate. It makes me wonder then, that collapse probably had to occur after whoever was in here with their footprints. Golly, I was really hoping we could figure out a way that this would take us to our yellow rope. Well, that is all a part of mine exploring, you know?
Okay, here's the deal, guys. Now, you can tell when I backed out of that drift, I was pretty shooken up. I mean, I clearly felt something hit me on my lower back. But this is what's going on. So I'm climbing up into that drift, and I'm looking all around me, and I can see all of this crumble coming off the back of the mine and the sides.
Were you crawling on top of collapse?
Yes, I was on top of collapse. So I'm inching up a little bit further and inching up a little bit further, and all of a sudden I hear something that sounds like 2 clicks on metal, and then I felt it. I felt this weight on my lower back, and the best way that I could describe it in that moment was I thought I got hit by a rock. I thought something fell off the back of the mine and hit me like right at your tailbone area, and it weighed probably, at the time I was guessing like maybe somewhere between 20 to 30 pounds. So the best way I can describe it, guys, is this. So, you know, if you were laying on the ground and someone took a barbell and maybe like from about 10 inches above your back dropped it, you're going to feel like this, like that, a weight. But now here's the weird thing. I get back, I start editing the video.
Me too.
Yep. And I start going over it because I'm fully expecting to see this thing, this rock fall off the back.
You had the 360 on your rig, and so you were expecting to see something cleave off and hit you in the back.
I was, but when I was down in the mine, I was in my brain, I was thinking, oh shoot, you know, I had the camera pointed forward, so I'm not going to be able to capture anything behind me. And no, indeed, I was able to capture what was going on behind me because I had that 360 camera. And so after I felt that weight hit my back, and I turned around, and I knew that something had occurred.
First, you uttered a profanity.
Yes, I did, because it scared the crap out of me. So I got out of there, started reviewing the footage, and there's absolutely nothing. I mean, I fully expected to see something fall off the back of the mine, or maybe off the ribs, something come in, and then of course you're going to see a bunch of crumble. You know, you would see something.
Right, that's what I was looking for too. I reviewed it all. The ceiling, if you will, of the mine has the distinct stones in it.
Yep.
Before and after that.
Yep.
And where you were crawling, there's nothing there.
There's no change.
There was nothing next to you, because you can see right down by your side that it would have hypothetically rolled off. And Gly's the last person on the planet to believe in anything supernatural. He's the last person on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a kind of person who has a very scientific and analytical mind, and that's why, you know, you guys don't see any ghostly or oogie boogie stuff or paranormal in any of my videos. You know, from time to time, if I see something like, hey, what was that? Like potentially, I did a video once where there was a rock rolling down and it looked kind of strange, you know, something like that. But you know,
you got that one there. You got movement down underneath.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was really
no rock.
That was really strange. But you know, to my long-term subscribers, you guys know from the very beginning, I do not put this stuff into my videos because I just don't partake into the whole ghostly, paranormal, oogie boogie stuff. And you know, but this was something very, very strange. Now, I've never had anything like this happen to me. Guys, I've been exploring abandoned mines for, oh my gosh, since I was 14 years old, and I have seen everything under the sun in these places, from whistles, and I've heard whistles coming out of boreholes, to, you know, plastic flapping off in the distance that sounded kind of strange.
Wind doors slamming open and closed.
Exactly. Yep. All kinds of things that could be explained. I cannot explain this. I mean, I clearly felt a push on my body. It pushed me down.
Well,
and
it pushed you down good enough that you thought that the back was giving way and that you were a collapse was imminent and you were going to die.
And I had to get out of there.
Yeah, that's what you originally said. That stuff was cleaving off.
That's right. When you first came out of the ground,
like scales.
When you first came out of the ground and got your harness off and stuff and came over by me by the truck, that's when you broke down.
I did. Yeah, because
he couldn't believe it. This is the first time that Gly he was visibly shook.
Yeah,
he had a near-death experience in his mind. At that point, he thought that what had happened was that a big slab had slabbed off, hit him in the back. He hightailed it out of there and got to where he was safer, got his composure, and then had us pull him up. Now, the funny thing about it is, when I let Gly down on the schnozzelator
5,000,
I always sit by the edge and hang my head over and watch and listen down in the caller the whole time he's down there. I don't leave. And I heard strange noise down there.
You did. And Randy said that you heard some strange noises when you were taking your break in that little cove.
He found a little cubby hole that they probably used as a small powder mag.
Yes, that's what I'm guessing.
And he cleaned it out. He even had his little electric fan going in there.
Yeah.
What did you hear?
I was out of the sun, and I was back in that little nook, and my eyes were starting to doze off. I was napping. And I heard what sounded like a large rock cleaving off of the wall or something and hitting the ground. It was a kind of sound, but it wasn't coming from any particular direction. It was just around me. That's what I heard. And it's unexplainable. It doesn't seem unusual for a region like this. I've heard that before in mines, and I've heard strange sounds that didn't sound like rocks falling, more like voices or other weird sounds in these mines before, when there's no one else in there.
Well, I've been in different mines that I've been into. You get these. Sometimes you'll get a strange echo where it sounds like there's somebody behind you, and that's typically the sound going in front of you, hitting the face of the mine, coming back, and then you're hearing it on its third round. But none of. The only thing that I heard when this actually took place was those like two little clanks, and you can hear it in the audio, two little clanks. And then once that happened, I felt the pressure on my lower back, and that's when I turned my head. Now, I'll tell you what, guys, I've gotten sleep, but I can't get this off my mind because this is really, really strange. And when these types of things happen, you wonder. You come up with these stories in your mind, and the story that I can come up with is, my father, he passed away in 2007. He was 72 years old, and when I was a kid growing up, I was one of those crazy kids that was always looking off the edge of cliffs, always, leaning too far over railings at Yellowstone, and my dad would always, grab me by my belt, right above my butt crack, and he would grab me and hold me when I would do these crazy things, and when I think back on some of the things that I did with Dad, that's one of the things that pops up. So like I was saying, I'm building maybe a story in my head and trying to explain what could have possibly happened, but for all I know, dear old Dad, for a moment there, said, "No way, son," and he reached out and grabbed me for a second, and that was whatever it was just enough to make me turn back and not go any further into that drift.
That's good enough explanation for me. That's not the story I came up with.
Let's hear your story.
Well, we live in a physical realm, but there's other stuff going on, I'm pretty sure. I've never studied it real deeply or anything like that, but I feel and hear stuff that I can't really wholly explain. Of the stuff that you are able to explain, there's plenty that's not easily explained. And the not easily explained is the sheer fact of the matter is that this whole area that we're in right now, Goldfield, is a 100-year-old town, 120-year-old town.
Yep.
The things we're crawling around in are 100 years old. And I'm always struck by the feeling of being an actual, imposter, or an invader. I mean, an area or a trespasser into not someone else's property, but into someone else's time. And time and space and all those things put together. I can't help but I mean, there's plenty of people that believe in Bigfoot, and there's no photographs of them. There's an awful lot of people that believe in Tommy knockers. If you work in the ground, or if you're in the ground an awful lot, you probably believe in them too. Or there's a good chance, because there's a reason that they started fantasizing, I guess, about these gnomes.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of history on them from ancient times. So I think because they're playful, I read up on Tommy knockers. They're playful. They'll play tricks on you, but they'll get even with you too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people would attribute missing their tools and things to Tommy knockers, or even someone getting killed in a collapse
Yeah.
to Tommy knockers. But on the same hand, someone could get out of a collapse and escape with their life,
Uh-huh.
and they'd claim that it was the Tommy knockers that saved them. So a lot of them would bring saffron cake in with them and leave them. If you go in and eat cake and you don't leave some for them,
Yeah.
that's considered very bad form.
Always good to leave a little for the Tommy knockers, huh?
That's what they say. At any rate, you've pushed the envelope an awful lot of times that I've sat outside and watched you go into places that I thought you ought not go.
Uh-huh.
And then you've come out more times than you should. They say if you hang out in a barber shop long enough, you're probably going to get a haircut. And maybe this is the universe's way of telling you. I know it was the universe's way of telling you, don't go any further in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right about that.
And that's why you're talking about going back to it.
Well, I'm talking about going back to it because the whole thing has just kind of made me upset, because I'm not the kind of person that runs away from my fears. If something is making me afraid, I'm going to chase after it. I'm going for it. I'm going to try to, take it down. I've talked to many people over the years, and I've always said to them, if I ever see something crazy in one of these mines, like a ghost or anything like that, I'm not going to run away. I'm going to run after it. I want to know what that thing is. I want to get to the bottom of it. But guess what, guys? It happened. And what did I do? I scurried out of there like a...
Well, like you had some common sense.
like I had some common sense, I suppose.
Well,
Yeah.
you thought it was a rock crumbling, though. You said that
I
you
did.
thought it was collapsing in there.
Well, that's exactly right. That's exactly what it felt like.
There
Yeah, it
wasn't
looked
anyone
that
else
way.
down there. What would you think?
Yeah, there's
And that's how it looked. It looked crumbly, didn't it?
very
yeah.
crumbly. That's right. Yeah, very, very crumbly down in there. So that's it, guys. So what do you say we get back into the show here? All right, let's continue on. Okay, I'm gonna head back over here to the shaft. I guess what we could do. Well, if I did do it, it's going to be a really dangerous thing. Probably the most dangerous thing I've ever done in my life. Let's get over here. I want to go get another look at this. Let's look up here again and weigh our situation. See, there's rail on the floor, so I know this would have went a lot further. See? Look at that, guys. Look how that's coming down. I had such high hopes for this mine. That's death. That's what that is right there. Now, if that was rock, if that was, good old solid rock, maybe. But this thing is, this material is like clay. And it's really freaking me out. It's what it's doing. Well, that's what happens when you have groundwater penetration into porphyry. This is what happens over time. It just slowly degrades and falls in. I hate to say it, guys. We're not going to be able to go any further. Not safely. I've done a lot of wild things in my life, but that's pushing a little bit too far. You know, hey, I don't want to die. You know, and if I get wedged, then those guys are going to have to come back down in here. And you know what's going to happen? It'll land on my back. It'll wedge me to the floor. It'll compress my chest. I won't be able to breathe. I'll pass out and I'll die. That's exactly how it's going to play out if I went for it. So nope, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. I got a lot of mines in my career I want to show you guys. And I ain't going to die today. Now, I know these things look a little bit different on camera. You actually have to be here to truly appreciate the dangers. So let's work our way back over to the shaft and we'll go from there. Sucks. Hey guys, you got your ears on up there?
I'm gonna get a picture of you.
What, in the hole?
Yeah.
The hobble?
Yeah, I got you, Gly.
Well, I've got bad news. Everything down here is collapsed.
Oh, no kidding.
I could probably wiggle my way on my belly over the collapse, but it is so bad, man. I don't want to die today.
Randy's encouraging you to do it.
I said I wouldn't do it.
Not only is it all porphyry, but it's porphyry with groundwater penetration, and the back is falling down in these giant slabs.
Well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's a ballsy move to check it out in the first place.
Yeah, that's how this game is played. You just don't know until you get into these. I don't even think I would attempt it if I had another person down here with me, because I picture myself. Well, no, let me back up for a second. So I started in, I was crawling on my belly. I didn't even touch the back of the mine with any part of my body. I didn't even touch it with my backpack. And about a 20-inch slab come off of the back and landed right on my back.
Oh my God, get out of there.
And I'm afraid what's going to happen if I was to venture further, if another one was to come down, I can just picture myself getting slabbed. Then it's going to compress my chest. I'm not going to be able to breathe, and that's how I'm going to die. So I just, it's beyond my limitations. Like I said, just told the audience, I've done a lot of crazy things in my life, and I've talked myself into a lot of craziness. But that's indeed insane right there.
Yeah, good call, Gly.
All right, so I'm going to, I got to put my harness back on. I got to get everything prepped here. So after I'm all set and ready, I'll radio up to you.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. Standing by.
All right, so I got to tell you, I've worked with this guy now for a long time, and we've had many conversations where it went along the lines of, one of these days, you're going to have a close call,
Yeah.
and it's going to scare the shit out of you.
And it happened today.
And it happened today. So I was, low to the ground. I didn't touch anything on the back, and that whole thing, just from the sound of my voice, it went, and it landed on my back. So I was given a break.
About 20-inch slab.
It was about that long, about that wide, and it weighed probably 30 pounds when it hit me. And it completely let loose only because of my voice. Okay? And it scared the hell out of me.
Nice. Took you a while to get your composure.
Yeah. That was rough, guys. That was, I don't like, it's okay to have adrenaline when you're doing this because that's what keeps you safe. But when it reaches that point, now you're into the scary zone, I guess, for a lack of a better word. That was pretty frightening.
Well, I'm glad you made it out.
Yeah.
Glad I didn't have to come down.
Yeah.
Does it look like it went over there?
No.
It
No.
goes to these, huh?
It goes to these.
Yeah.
Everything went to these.
That's what Randy thought.
Yeah. And nope, it just did not go that way. Now, they were starting to make an incline shaft out up and towards the road over here, and then they stopped. They quit down in here. It's like right over here.
Yep.
But that's it. Yeah.
Dang it.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
that one got me pretty worked up. So
you didn't die.
I didn't die. We didn't die. So, guys, thanks for coming along on this
Epic.
epic, crazy adventure, even though it was short and sweet down in there. But I really hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you again next weekend. All right, take care now. Bye-bye. Hey, Mom. So, I know you never much cared for me doing this activity down here. Yeah, it's dangerous, but I've always really loved it a lot. I like climbing around in these old mines and caves. I've been doing this ever since I was a teenager. And for so many years, I've been pretty darn lucky. I never got myself into any kind of trouble or anything. But I do believe, honestly, that in both your prayers as well as listening to my gut instincts, that when I come into these moments where your gut is screaming at you, don't do it, you know. I've always listened, and I think that's what's kept me out of trouble all of these years. Again, this is another one of those situations where your guts is screaming at you. You have this aura around you that just says, don't do it. Despite the mystery of how far this thing goes and some of the treasures that might be revealed if I was to really indeed risk my life, I just don't think it's worth it. I mean, dead is dead, and I really would like to keep doing this for many more years. So you're on my mind right now, and my little inner voice is screaming at me. So thanks for all the talks that you and I have had. I really love you. And thanks for being there for me, okay?